Cornwall in the southwest corner of Great Britain. The humidity from the Atlantic makes the environment here ideal for grass and fodder production intended for dairy cows. Their high-quality milk is used for the production of prize-winning cheddar cheese at the Dairy Crest Davidstow Creamery. The daily production is some 150 tonnes. Producing cheddar cheese includes the following main processing steps. The milk enters the plant through 7 lanes and after quality checking is stored in the raw milk silos. Some of the milk is separated to obtain cream and skim milk for fat standardization of the cheese milk. The cheese milk is pasteurized in 2 lines, each with a capacity of 85,000 litres per hour. The milk is regeneratively heated by the previously pasteurized milk in order to save some 90% of the required energy. Now it is time for the cheese making. The pasteurized milk is filled into the Tetra Tebble OST horizontal curd making vats. Starter culture is prepared from skim milk powder. The starter gives the cheddar its characteristic taste and aroma. Starter and rennet are dosed during filling. When a vat is filled with 33,000 litres of milk, the coagulation starts and takes some 30 minutes. After checking of the set by the cheesemaker, the cutting can start. Coagulum is cut by the sharp knife tools. During cutting, the whey is separated from the curd matrix. The curds and whey mixture is then gently stirred with the blunt side of the tools to keep the curd particles in suspension in the vat. The processing steps in the cheese-making vat are controlled by the cheese recipe, entered in the control panel. The tank is now ready for emptying. Curds and whey mixture is pumped to the Tetra Tebble Alpha-matic cheddaring machine. First, most of the whey is removed by means of a strainer screen and the curd forms a mat on the first movable belt. The curd mat is then fused, stretched and cheddared, chipped, salted and mellowed along its way through the machine. Stirrers equalize the mat in thickness and side guides control its width. The slow-moving second belt brings the fusing curd mat to the end of the belt where it is turned over and stretched for continued fusing and cheddaring on the next belt. End of the third belt, the curd mat is cut into chips and dry salted in a rotating drum before being transferred to the final belt. Stirrers complete the salt mixing and prevent further fusing. The salted chips are augured to a tank from which they're transferred by vacuum to the top of the Tetra Tebble block former. In these 6 towers, the chips are fused together under a repeated vacuum cycle. The These high-capacity twin-vac versions have 2 vacuum sections for higher efficiency and capacity. Every 45 seconds, a 20-kilo cheddar block is cut from the lower end of each cheese column and pushed into a plastic bag. The weight of each cheese block is registered, the air in the bag is removed and the bag is sealed. A metal detector checks for any metal pieces. The cheese blocks are conveyed for cartoning and then to a rapid chiller. The cheese blocks are now ready for the maturation process, which can take up to 14 months depending on the desired taste and aroma. Large-scale cheese making is a very complex form of processing. A continuous flow must be maintained throughout, 19 hours a day. Then there must be effective CIP cleaning of every product contact surface. This needs an advanced process control system, and at the Davidstow Cheese Creamery, the Tetra Plant Master controls the entire plant. From the central control room, the operator can follow and control any process sequence throughout the plant. He can, for instance, decide how many litres are to be filled into each cheese-making tank or change the fat content in the milk for the production of another type of cheese. The Tetra Plant Master control system registers each batch, and each single cheese block can be traced back for analysis of its individual production parameters. There are also operator interfaces with touchscreen panels at strategic points in the production area, as well as for management production planning. Service status can continuously be checked at the Tetra Pak service office. 10 litres of milk give approximately 1 kilo of cheese. The rest is whey, waste, fodder or a valuable material source for the food industry. The sweet whey is first clarified in 2 huge Tetra Sentry whey clarifiers at a flow of 75,000 litres per hour. Fines are recovered and added back to the first belt of the cheddaring machine. Whey cream is separated from the whey in another set of separators to minimise fat content, before the whey goes for concentration by evaporation. A plant like this needs to be very carefully considered before it can open up and run properly. Every single pipe and valve must be engineered in close cooperation between the customer and the machine supplier. Coordination and cooperation are key words in projects like this. The complete processing system and the cheese-making equipment from Tetra Pak Tebble has so far given the yield and high cheese quality expected. The ambition of Dairy Crest is to win both the market and further prizes for their high-quality cheese from this creamery in Davidstow, situated in the very heart of Cornwall.